Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Sri Muji Baba ki Jai. This game is played moment to moment. In every moment, we can live in the ego shadow or we can live in God's light. Doesn't matter what happened in the last moment. It doesn't matter what happened in the last 1000 moments. All of that is gone. Right now, you have two doors in front of you. One is the door to individuality. One is the mistaken notion of taking yourself to be somebody. And the other is to live empty of our will, empty of self-concern, empty of individuality. And this is how we get over ourselves. We don't get over ourselves without doing this. It can only happen moment to moment, thought by thought. So let's go really slowly today and deconstruct this whole thing so it's completely apparent what this whole game is. Right now, you're empty just naturally. You didn't do anything. You didn't have to do anything. Just naturally, you're empty of yourself. And nobody in the world can start the moment full of themselves. This moment you are empty already. If you stay here now, don't go with any construct, any interpretation, any notion which is coming from your mind. And what is this mind? The mind is a bundle of thoughts. It only works a single thought at a time. All of us can observe this. We can observe the thought. We can observe that it is not you that is speaking. It is a voice that you're hearing. Hearing doesn't have to be like sensory hearing. You're perceiving. All of us can confirm. Let's see if today all of us can meet God fully. So let's go really slowly, but let's not leave anyone behind. So if anyone is confused, then you just put up your hand or you raise your Zoom hand and then we'll have a look. So right now, let's start fully fresh, empty, 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 empty. You are without a name, without an identity. You are naturally empty. This is God's gift to us, that every moment we are completely fresh. So in this moment, you are completely empty. Now what can happen is that a thought may come. A thought will be perceived. So let's all wait a moment together till we perceive this thought. All of us can perceive a single thought, isn't it? You perceive it. Some of you may feel like it's coming like this through your head. Some of you may feel like you're hearing something. Some of you may feel like some neon sign comes up. Some of you may feel that it's just an image. In all various ways, you will observe this thought. Now, what can you do with this thought? A thought comes. What can you do with it? You can give it your attention. This is very important. Even if you've been here in thousands of satsangs and your mind is telling you, you know this very well, just stay with me. Even if it seems like very simple things, you can give it your attention. But try and observe what happens when you merely give it your attention. You must follow along. It is pride to think that you already know. Nobody knows anything. So we just start as complete beginners. We are all exploring together. A thought appears. By giving it your attention, what changed for you? By giving it your attention, you can merely claim to report what it is conveying. You see? You can report what it is conveying, but nothing changed for you. It is as if a cloud is passing through the sky, but you remain unaffected by this. What else can we do with the thought? So this mere attention is not identification. What else can you do with it? Suppose the thought is proposing that you're not understanding anything that I'm saying. With just attention, what happens? Nothing happens. It just passes like a cloud in the sky. But you can also take it to be true. That taking to be true is one of the primal powers of consciousness, you see, which can give truth value to a notion. And that is how this Leela, this Maya, is played. So to allow these thoughts to come and go, and to not serve them tea, as the Zen master said, is to allow attention to go to them naturally if it has to, but not give them our belief. Because life is completely different if you give it belief and if you don't give it belief. It is completely different, unrecognizably. It is the difference between heaven and hell. It is that strong, a seeming difference. So don't underestimate it, don't undervalue it. This is the primary difference. The difference between living in God's light or living in ego shadow is just the distance of a thought believed in. So remember that this is the main game. It is not about a life situation. It is not about your relationships. It is not about how much money you have. It is about nothing. This is the only game that is being played. Once this becomes very clear to you, then the spiritual journey is very, very straightforward. Otherwise, you can keep collecting spiritual knowledge, concepts, ideas, but nothing is going to happen. You may even be able to repeat many of them, but nothing is going to happen. You see? So, what is the difference? I'm going to point out what I'm claiming. What is the difference when you remain empty or you buy into the notion from the mind? So, what happens when you remain empty? Firstly, you cannot suffer. Suffering is impossible without knowing something from your head. You see? Moment to moment. So, this is the end of suffering. And unless we are empty in this way, there is zero chance of living in God's light. Zero chance. Because to meet God's light is not possible as long as we are full of ourselves. So, as we remain empty, we realize that I have to know something to suffer. Without false knowledge, I cannot suffer, and all conceptual knowledge is false. Now, if it is God's grace, then upon the simple inquiry, can I stop being in this moment? The presence of being may reveal itself to us. So, return to emptiness. No matter what the temptation is from the mind, stay empty, let everything come and go. Ask yourself, can I stop being? Follow, no matter what, follow. Everything else is a lie. I'm pointing you to the reality of this game. Nothing else is happening. You must follow completely. Let the thought go one thought at a time. Ask yourself, can I stop being? Don't think about the answer. Meet what is being revealed to you. Ask yourself, is there a presence within myself? And wait for the presence to reveal itself. Don't think. Is there a presence within you? Ask yourself, is there a presence within me? How many of you can report that there is a presence? Take your time, there's no rush, and also it's not an exam, nobody is failing or passing. Very good, thank you. So, for those who cannot yet report that there is a presence, you must dedicate your life now to remaining empty in this way till the presence of God reveals itself. No other project is important. Everything can happen outwardly, the body can move, every function can happen, all that is fine. But inwardly, you must remain empty for God. The road must be clear for God. Never pick up any pride so that the road is empty for God, the lane remains empty for God. So those who feel like they've not come to the presence yet, can you put up your hand on Zoom? And I want to make sure that the instruction is clear for all of you. Put up the hand on Zoom, please. So you'll come up right on top. On Zoom, not your biological hand. Okay, thank you. Let's go to Chanda first. Okay, Chanda, my dear. So, thank you for coming up. So, is the instruction clear in terms of how we are now to keep the road empty for God?
Yes, Father.
Very good. Can you just repeat for everyone?
Yes, Father. I am asking, is there a presence here, right now? Is there a presence here which is not the perceptions, not the thoughts, not the sensations? Beyond all this, is there a presence right here, right now?
Yes, that is the question. And what do you have to do if it seems like the presence has not revealed itself? For those for whom it feels like the presence is not yet apparent, what is the instruction? And I'm happy to repeat if you want.
To remain empty within. The outside expression can move, happen as it wishes, or automatic, spontaneous, naturally.
Very good.
But within, stay empty without an iota of pride or self-concern, just empty, empty it.
Very good. Very good. Beautifully said. So, thank you for that. Now, this has to become the primary project of our life. What is the outcome if this does not become the primary project in our life? The outcome is that we lead a zombie life, which we never really lived anyway, and we will die. So the matter is very, very important, and it is very urgent, because this whole game is about time. Moment to moment, the mind grabs a hold of us, tempts us with ideas, and says, you can find God tomorrow. You can live in God tomorrow. And things will always keep happening. This Maya is infinitely intricate in its play, and something or the other will always be there for you to follow and say, I will do this now, and I will be with God tomorrow or later. You see? It's like my son. He has never said no to me, you see, but he always says tomorrow. You see? So don't fall into that trap. Don't fall into that trap. This moment, nothing else is important. Whatever you are fretting or thinking about, it doesn't even exist. Because the you for whom it is relevant doesn't even exist. Empty yourself so that God's light may shine. There is nothing, and I cannot emphasize this enough, even if I'm sounding like a broken record, there is nothing more important. It's very, very important to recognize that this is the only game there is. There is nothing else which is relevant in your life. Okay. So, how many of you feel like it is easy to remain empty? Easy to remain empty. Physical hand. Yeah. No, just generally. Or you have trouble remaining empty. Easy? Not easy. So most of you say it's kind of sometimes easy, sometimes, and many of you will report that in satsang it seems to be easy, and otherwise outside in the world, in the marketplace of the world, it doesn't seem that easy. So to make it easy for all of you, I have presented you with the Atma Darshan Samadhi, and you can do that. It is a simple way to come to this and remain in this emptiness. And it is good for all of us. I am doing the Atma Darshan Samadhi since it came here, and I'm finding it really beautiful. So it's not that I am the inventor and then I have given it for all of you. It arose here for myself as well. So as a beginner, I start every day and I do it. And I've heard from many of you, and it is helping you. But if for whatever reason you're not able to follow, or there's too much resistance or something like that, then you must do the inquiry. How to do the inquiry? Ask yourself, who am I? If the mind proposes an answer, look at that thought and ask yourself, who is witnessing this thought? whatever may be perceived, find out what witnesses it. The mind may present now a dark, empty space to you, and it may try to convince you that that is yourself, this nothing, that is its idea of nothing. You see, but it's not nothing, it's still dark, empty. It has to be empty of even that. So still continue to ask yourself, who witnesses even that? The answer reveals itself to you intuitively. Don't wait for a conceptual answer. You will find yourself intuitively through the inquiry. Or you can do Guruji's beautiful invitation. It is a guided inquiry. Everything that the inquiry points you to is there in the invitation. You could do that. If you can't do any of that, if you've convinced yourself that you can't do any of that, then you must find a way to surrender everything that the mind proposes. Say, it is my Guru's problem, it is my father's problem, it is God's problem. Surrender. If you feel like you can't surrender, then pray. Pray with all your might. Pray like you're a child asking your father for help. If you can't pray, and this I'm talking about moment to moment, because everybody can do all of these, but there are moments where something doesn't seem possible. If you can't pray, then at least find a way to bring you to some devotion, play some bhajan, play some devotional song. And this is not necessarily in order. If you can't do this, then just bring your attention to your breath. Keep your attention with your breath. Just breathe. You have to breathe anyway. So breathe. If you can't do that, then go to YouTube, put on some videos for beginners yoga or something to move your body in such a way that the sages have designed it to bring us closer to God's light. Do some yoga, of course, watch some satsang. So all these practices, yoga, pranayam, all of that is helpful. So your life must become fully devoted to discovering this presence in your heart. And this simplifies everything. What is auspicious for you to do? That which makes you more open and empty. That which brings you closer to God's light. Who should I follow? That which makes you open and empty, brings you closer to God's light. But you have to at least have the dedication that, suppose you decided that I'm going to walk all the way to Cairo or something, then it can't be that You went to your street and you saw a fruit vendor over there, and all your intention of going walking all the way to Cairo went away, and you got distracted by the fruits. That kind of inner attitude is not going to get us anywhere. We must be steadfast inwardly, and we must never celebrate too fast. Let the world say whatever it wants about us. Remain humble, and all this will be simpler. And this does not mean that everything I've just said is only for those who are claiming that they have not yet met their presence. This is for all of us. All of this will bring you to a point where you are not, you will find that you have the capacity to not believe your next thought. Because most of us will spend this life believing that you have no power over believing your next thought. Yeah? Most of humanity will spend their life believing that they have no power to not believe their next thought. But actually, you have all the power because you are consciousness itself. So, let's return back to the game. What is the game? In this moment, your head is tempting you, and if you go with that temptation, you take yourself to be an ego, an individual, and that is the life of the ego shadow, the most terrible way to live. And just because something is prevalent or popular doesn't make it good. So it is a horrible way to live. And I wouldn't want any of you to spend a moment like that. Yes. So I've given you all the tools, and if there's confusion, I can clarify more about how to let the next thought go. All of this is for that. What happens when you let the next thought go? Okay, let me look at, before we go there, let me talk to Marisa, Muni. Okay, Marisa, you can come.
Namaste, Father.
Namaste.
I raised my hand because I don't know. Is the presence supposed to be perceived in certain way? Because sometimes it feels like it doesn't exist. Anything and only the ego exists. You know, like right here, there is like the rest no, and then like it becomes like somehow palpable, and then I don't know if I'm explaining it.
Thank you. Thank you for asking this question. And I feel like we have some highlights on this as well, and we should share them again with all of you. So, what is this presence that we are supposed to meet? No? What is this presence that we are supposed to meet? And if the presence is purely beyond the world, then most of us have no chance at getting it because we've taken the world to be reality for so long that God, in His grace, has given us a way to meet this presence. And what I've been calling the hand of God, and sometimes the tip of the iceberg. So, what is that? That is the primordial vibration. That is the primordial vibration. The primordial vibration is the subtlest, most primordial phenomena. In India, we call it Om. It is that light which gives light to this whole world. It is that which wakes up when we say, I woke up. This is the presence of being. And this, to reveal this presence of being, is the main point of the Atma Darshan Samadhi. So when this presence reveals itself, that is called Atma Darshan. Because this is the presence of Atma, being. And if this still seems too far-fetched, too difficult, then use the perfume of unconditional love. The unconditional love is like the hand of the hand. Just remain with this love in your heart. Forget about your head. Like the master said, heart full, head empty. Find out, where is this love coming from? What is the source of this love? And remain empty in this way. And it is my blessing that this presence will reveal itself. So when we ask, can I stop being? Or is there a presence here? We are not looking at the sensations that we call the body. We are looking for that existence which confirms that I am. What confirms to you that you are, not that you are a person or a body, or that you are right, or that you know something. No, just that you are. And there is no forcing here. You cannot ask that question forcefully and say, can I stop being? And then being has to get scared and reveal itself. There is no way to force it. You see? And that's why I keep saying that our job is to set the table for God. Whether God is revealed or not is up to God. But even if we spend a million lifetimes empty of ourselves, just setting the table for God, that would be a much better life than the zombie life that we live in the ego shadow. So we are not to fall into the traps of frustration. I'm never going to get it. All this nonsense is just mind tricks to keep you distracted. Okay, so don't fall into any of that. Remain empty is good enough. The rest is for God to do. So, what is the simple answer to this question? Is the presence palpable? Yes, the presence has the subtlest vibration which is palpable, and yet I call it the tip of the iceberg because the rest of it is known only intuitively. So when I ask you what is the boundary of this presence, you say it is boundless. And boundlessness cannot be perceived. It is only known intuitively. Are you all with me, or it's become like music now? It's just
Yes.
words. It's very important. So this is the very important question. Can the presence be found in this way? Is it palpable? Is it tangible in a worldly way of speaking? So the true answer is that it is really not, but then we would be hopeless. There would be no chance. You see? So, in God's grace, He has made the primordial vibration the aspect of the being which can be felt within ourselves. He's made that the subtlest vibration that can ever be perceived. It's at the cusp of non-phenomenal, and yet it has got the vibratory quality of being met. And that's why we can call it a name, we can call it I am or Om. But where does it come from? What is it connected to? What is its boundary? That is unfathomable, unperceivable, and yet you confirm that it is boundless. You know that it is timeless. So, this is the immensity of consciousness, which is boundless. This is where Atma and Paramatma are one, which is their reality. So, this is very, very important. Can you find the presence? Yes, you can set the table for it, and then it will be found if it is God's grace. Do I exist? Am I present? Can I stop being? Is there a presence here? All these questions you can use to inquire about this. Yes? So we've crossed over from the non-existent person, which seems to exist only under the hypnosis of a thought.
Mhm.
You see? In the emptiness, the presence becomes palpable, and through the tip of the iceberg is intuited. It can never be known conceptually, only intuitively. Okay, let me go to, before we progress, let me go to Muni and Sylvia. Yes.
Hello, Guruji.
So, no, it started off well, but then I heard the hello and then it stopped. Muted again. Oh, I'm so sorry. How did that happen?
Hello. Hello. Thank you. Thank you, Father. We had exactly the same question Marissa had. Um, like it's very easy to be empty, but just I had to be honest. If the presence apparent in the moment, it was not. And thank you for what you shared right now. Feel I could follow. Is it like the perfume or the tip of like aliveness?
Yeah.
like uh, like alive for me it's the easiest. Like I there is a difference in the like kind of everywhere, uh, and like it's the most what I notice between sleep state and like waking state is like the sense of aliveness, something.
This is good, but the only trouble sometimes with the word aliveness is that sometimes the sensations of the body also the mind can.
Maybe it's very loud.
Okay, was that coming from you? I see. So maybe you can just mute for a bit and I'll come back to you in a moment. So it is aliveness. Aliveness is a beautiful word for it. The only trouble I've noticed sometimes in the reactions is that we take the sensations of the body sometimes to also convey that I'm alive, you see. So many may be using that. So that's why I don't use that word very often. Because many, if you ask them if they are alive, they may feel like, okay, there are sensations in the body, there's some sensations in the feet. So that they may take the primordial vibration, which is not what is being pointed to. What is being pointed to is just the sense of being itself, the presence of this being itself. So aliveness usually works. It usually works quite well, but sometimes it causes this kind of confusion.
Yes. Yeah, it's true that I'm not completely sure if this is the like if it's part of perception or it's it's just it's the sense of being.
What wakes up when we say I woke up, or what goes away when we say I went to sleep? We can't really say while we are asleep, but you have a sense of what I'm saying. What is awake right now? If the world,
Coming consciousness.
if the world vanished, yes, if the world vanished, like all the senses stopped working one after the other, we would still be able to confirm that we are awake, isn't it?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you right now.
We would still be able to confirm that we are awake, isn't it?
Yes, if the senses were not here. Yes.
So one by one, sight goes, we are still awake. Hearing goes, we're still awake. Taste goes, we're still awake. Touch goes, we're still awake. Smell also goes, we're still awake. Internal thoughts and memories, all of that also goes. We're still awake. So, what is that wakefulness?
It seems I cannot pinpoint it, but
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. So, that wakefulness is the primordial, the primary. That wakefulness, this waking state appears, this waking dream appears. So it's very, very important, more important than anything else that we come to this discovery, come to this discovery. And I've outlined all the steps that are needed. The rest is up to grace. Very good. He also wants to say,
Uh, I I don't know. I was just trying to follow. Uh, if I mean I have more like I feel more the energy of what you are saying than understanding. It's hard for me to understand what you're saying. What you are saying.
Yes, it's not just hard, it's actually impossible to understand, but I have to meet you somewhere beyond understanding, isn't it? So is there a part which you can say is confusing, is difficult, or the whole thing?
Mm, I don't know if it's confusing, but when you spoke about the waking state and the senses and mm, yeah, maybe it's sometimes can be a little bit of confusing about being in this body.
Whether being is in the body, it may be experienced as if it is, but actually this body is just a set of perceptions within the world itself. But many will report that the core of their being, the primordial vibration, is found in the heart region, as Bhagavan Maharishi said.
Yeah.
Maybe we come back to you all, and sometimes there's a lot of nice music and all playing.
Sorry.
Yes.
So sorry for the music.
It's
Sorry.
all right.
We are in a
Sorry.
restaurant,
Sorry.
so
It's
yeah.
fine. It's fine. No trouble
Thank
at
you
all.
so much.
We'll come
Thank you
back.
so much.
Definitely. Right. Okay, let's go to BP.
Namaste, Father. So, when you speak about the presence, hmm, Chandra says before that there is this presence is formless, isn't it? So, when you speak about the presence, I am searching for something like bliss or joy or this vibration.
Did you hear what I said to Marisa?
More or less.
So that is the answer to this. So is it form or is it formless? It is primarily formless, but because formlessness is seemingly impossible in the human condition, therefore God, in God's grace, has presented us with a way to meet this formlessness in the form of the presence, in the form of the sense of being, the sense I am, which we cannot really say is form, but neither is it complete formlessness as pure awareness is. So we must be able to find the resonance of this primary vibration, and most of it will find it in our heart, not our physical heart, but our spiritual heart. And through that, we come to the formless presence, the formless being, formless consciousness. You can't understand it. You see, I can
Yeah.
see you still trying to
So
understand it. You can't.
we can check this now.
You have to be empty. Remember the first part of satsang? Be fully empty. If you're trying to understand what I'm saying, it will just become concepts. And those concepts are not worth a dime. Be empty. Do you exist?
Yes.
What shows you that you exist?
I don't know existence. I
No, it's
am
gone back to your head, you see. Go.
okay.
So go back to the innocence and see that whether you exist. Do you exist right now?
Yes.
Yes. Stay with that. Don't understand it. Just stay with that. The instant you go to your head, you buy a thought, in that moment, your presence will not be apparent anymore. As much as we would like to think that we can do it, it is just not possible. See, and this boy has been experimenting with this for a few weeks now. Okay, so remain empty. Don't go back to your head. Then if something comes to say, you can come back in a while. Let's go to Clarissa.
Hello, Anandaji. Thank you that I can come. I tried to follow now, and I felt the presence, but it's very difficult to hold. There is such a force which pulls me into ego, and I think there are also desires left which wants to be fulfilled, and it makes it difficult to stay to come into.
It can seem like that, and it is as an antidote to all of this attraction from the mind. I have outlined all these various ways in which you can loosen the grip of the mind. So just whatever resonates most deeply with you in your heart, you can do that, and you will find yourself more and more empty. Have you tried the Atma Darshan Samadhi?
Yes, I tried it, and I really tried every day, but I recognized that it's going to be automatically, and that thoughts are coming in, and I follow that thoughts, and when I recognize it, I try to come back, but it happens again and again, and it's at the best is when I try it at home when I am alone. And when I'm in the train or at my work, it's very difficult to be in Atma.
When you are in the train or at work, then just do the first part, the breaths. Use your breath, and soon what will happen is that every breath will become prayerful. So just naturally, it will become part of your natural way of existence. But it's
Yeah.
good to see that there is so much possibility of resistance still from the mind and can get belief. So all this is important to come out, and even if it takes a long time, it's fine.
Okay.
Because you don't want to get into any delusions of grandeur and thinking I can be open and empty, where what is happening on a day-to-day basis is where you're just trying to pray along with your breath, and your mind seems so strong. You see, so it's very good for our pride also. It's very, very good to let go of our pride also. You see? So it's very, very good. And many children have reported this kind of thing to me.
And
And don't worry, it's completely natural for the mind to resist this very simple thing. So soon it'll start to loosen its grip.
thank you. And I recognize that there is a lot of pride. I never thought that there is so much pride.
Yes, pride is the champion of living in the shadows, you see. Pride seems so natural in the human condition that we don't even recognize there's the slightest bit of knowledge, conceptual knowledge, that I know this, you see, itself is pride.
Mhm.
To need to know when God is present itself is pride. It is the original pride. I wonder if we can recognize this. It's a very simple thing I just said. The need to know when God is present itself is pride.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Because if God is real and God is present, then what do I need to know?
Mhm.
You see, when we recognize this, we will stop relying on our intellect, we will stop relying on our will, you see, and we start to return to the innocence of a child who does not know, and yet his life or her life is going so beautifully in God's grace.
Thank you.
Yeah, very much.
Thank you very much.
Always welcome. Okay, let's go to Kesha. Are you still looking at presence not being apparent, or
No, it's apparent.
it's apparent?
It's apparent.
Okay.
What was the last thing you said about, what was the last statement you said to Clarissa again? What was that?
I was saying that the need to know while God is present itself is pride.
Is it like when Guruji says, you don't want to be the honey, you want to taste the honey?
Is this a need to know?
Yes. Yes.
You can make
Yes.
all the frameworks.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. We're just exploring together. So we can make all the frameworks, but none of these frameworks really are important. They will crumble at the slightest trouble. So it doesn't really have to be done that way.
You're right. Yes. Yeah, Father. Can we check together real
Yeah.
quick? Wow. So, and so you say, can you stop being?
Yes.
And it's apparent that you cannot, we
Yes.
cannot stop being.
Yes.
And
And just, I know it's difficult to put in words, but
yeah,
just see if some words come, like what cannot.
what cannot stop being?
Yes.
It's like a just vibration, and there's like an every awareness to it, and it seems to only be like apparent when we're awake, when this one's awake
Yeah.
from sleep.
Would you say that
And
this wakes up?
excuse me,
Would you say that this is that which wakes up?
it it doesn't it doesn't it doesn't really wake up, but somehow it's known upon awaking. I don't know.
Okay. So what
I
would we call awaking?
like waking up from sleep would be like
Yes. What would?
there's an awareness that there is like an awakeness.
Yes. And this that is that we started with is not that weakness, or is it?
It is. It is. It is.
So then
It is.
what wakes up?
Um,
Let's go. Don't worry. Let's go slowly. So this is very good. So
okay.
we said, can I stop being? I noticed that there's a presence here.
Yeah.
Just like a vibration, but not a limited vibration. We notice that it is beyond time and space. You see? Now,
Yes.
the question is, what wakes up? What is present that we call it waking? That what is there that we can call it awakeness?
Like it's life, like life. Like
And how is that distinct from this?
it's not. It's not.
So then again, so then what wakes up? In the sense,
Consciousness.
maybe I realize where the confusion is. Okay, so let me frame the question in a different way.
Okay.
What is that which is the primary signal on the basis of which we can confirm that I am awake?
Like there's like a knowing
A knowing.
somehow.
Do you mean the knowing that is aware of the absence of waking as well as the presence of waking?
Yes. Yeah.
You see, so in deep sleep
Yes. Right.
also, I am aware that I am asleep, although I don't have the phenomenal infrastructure to be able to communicate that. But when we wake up, we can confirm I was asleep and now I am awake. So the
Yes.
knowingness is the witnessing which is aware of the dark wall as well as the light wall.
Yes.
You see? So is there any change possible in the knowingness which we could then say that is asleep or awake?
There isn't a change in that knowing, but there is change in the appearance of the sleep and the wakefulness.
Yes, yes. So what is that appearance which we use to confirm the wakefulness?
It's a vibration. I don't know. I can't say it in words, Father. It's like the knowingness is there in deep sleep. It's not. I mean, I know
Yes.
there is a constant, like there's a knowing of sleep and wakefulness, and when this one wakes up, there is a change in that.
Yes. So that wakefulness, is it dependent on the perception of the world? So therefore, is it dependent on sight, smell, taste, touch, or any of these things?
No.
Yes. So that
No.
beingness, that sense of being, that wakefulness, that aliveness, whatever word we want to use, which is independent of what other perceptions may be being perceived. That is the presence of being. Yes, it is apparent to you. It is apparent. It's good. So, I want to tell you something more is coming to say. Now, many of us can look at this being because it's being shared kind of scientifically, and we may look at it as if it is some force like gravity, you see, like magnetism, like electricity, like light. You see? We may look at it like that, but it is not. You see? It is the one that is the supreme intelligence, the only comforter, the only true guide, the only antidote to the human condition is this itself. So many times in satsang like ours, Advaita satsangs, we come to this in a very sort of um, explorer type manner. You see that I discovered now. I saw America is there. Now I saw Antarctica is there. Now I saw you see, like that. But actually, what are we discovering? This presence is the most pristine guide. It is the Sadguru presence within us. You see? It is the source of all life, the source of all healing, the source of all grace, the source of all love, the source of all intuition, the source of all intelligence. This is the discovery that we are making. And it is important to emphasize this point because it's not just, we're not like Columbus exploring the world and saying, there is this and now I've come to this. You see, we are discovering through God's grace, God's presence within us. And without this discovery, what is this life? It is just a bunch of food walking around. That's why I've been emphasizing this point that it is not worth it without this. This is the only medicine for the human condition. And maybe that is not the best way to look at it actually, because then it becomes more God for me, you see? But truly, the only antidote to our existential condition is this. You see, without this, we only have to conclude what Buddha said, or supposedly said, which is that the world is suffering. The world means suffering. Without this, but with this, everything is grace, everything is light, everything is love, everything is beauty. And this is the discovery through my Master's grace and through God's grace. This is the only gift that I want to share. And I will fight with all of my might to bring all my children to this. So thank you for enabling this response to come, because this is very important, you see. This is very important. Who are we discovering? Whose presence, whose light are we coming to? This is the most magnificent. It leaves me awestruck every moment. It is so far beyond conceptual understanding, mental understanding. And its beauty is so pristine. Its magnificence is so vast. It is the intersection between the world and timelessness, spacelessness. That's why Guruji has been saying that we must not think we can just jump over this and go straight into awareness or not any of those sort of fantasies.
Thank you for saying that it's not like an element or like a space or darkness, or that to really emphasize that it is the importance of it, that it's not like that. It can't be treated like that.
It is life itself. There is no life without it. And if life is intelligent, then this is intelligence. And if life is love, then this is love. So very often we just get into this mode where we feel like, there is the body, and then there is within that there are emotions, and then there are thoughts, and then there's presence, and okay, after the presence there's awareness. You see, it can seem to become very mechanical, but it's not. It is pristine. It's pristine. So if anyone is falling into the mental trap of making a framework out of this, of making conceptual understanding out of this, then I'm telling you that this light, this love is beyond anything that we can fathom, anything that we can understand.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very, very good.
Love you.
We love you. Thank you. Let's go to Devi.
Hello?
No idea.
Yeah, I just felt I want to come up. Sometimes I'm a bit afraid to speak, so I just want to, even if I don't say anything, just to say hello. And
Very good, my dear. We had a deal also, no?
yes, we did. But sometimes it's so stressful to sit with the hand up all the time, so I'd rather just listen. And if something comes up, then I raise my hand.
It's fine. It's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you, my child. So what is, you have a report about this presence, or?
I would say, like, I feel really this prayer that you gave us is really helpful. Like, sometimes I had struggled to do it, but when I do it, there is some resistance. But if I just stay with it until something changes, and yeah, even if it's not like a big breakthrough, it's just feeling like it's a connection to God, and like I can leave it to God then if I do this offering, like, please just, because my mind can be very entangled. So if I try to do it myself, I just get hopeless. So I just trust that if I do this, it's good.
Yes. This is exactly what it is for. You see?
Yes.
Because in day-to-day life, most of us live as if we are disconnected. You see? Then through whatever mechanism, if something can bring you to the recognition of being connected, see, this is good enough. You see? And that's why I was saying that we should not leave our bed till we can meet this presence. And this, to meet this presence, is to notice this connection. You see?
Yes.
Notice this connection.
Sometimes I'm not so consistent, I have to say. Like, there is a tendency to go in these negative states, and then it feels like, oh, it's just impossible, and I just give up for a while. But then suffering makes me do something. So and there's also like some stubbornness or some pride or something, and then I just have to stay with it. Like, even the mind says, oh, it's not working, it's not going to work. If I just stay with it and push through these thoughts, then it's good. But yeah, it's not always easy, but
it's not always easy.
I'm grateful to have this. Yeah. Thank you.
All my love, all my blessings. This is a beautiful report, because literally it does feel like we are a leaf flying around in the breeze without being connected to God. Our life just seems so disconnected and separate and full of resentment and pride and guilt and all of these things. Whereas in reality, our life can be so different from that. You see, and to meet what initially can seem like a connection and then deepen into just a natural oneness of being is very beautiful. It's very, very good. It's very,
And it's good what you also told to Clarissa. Even if it takes long time, don't put we should change. Just do it, and whenever it changes, it changes.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. Very good. Very good.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Very good. We go to Sharat.
Thank you, Master.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
I can only say I'm here.
Yes, yes, yes. That's it. Just be here. And you're always here. But you're noticing, I remember from your message, that you're noticing that when the mind seems to convey some truth to us, then the here-ness is no longer apparent. So all that we must do in that moment is return to our heart, return to God's light. And how to return to God's light is to let go of the temptation of the thought. As true, as right, as knowledgeable as the mind may seem, it is never going to bring something valuable to you. So just keep letting go as you have been, and this will become more and more natural. Very good. Very good. What grace it is, no? What grace is it? That just we can be sitting anywhere. We can be in a fish market. We can be anywhere. And God's light is there. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. It doesn't matter how old we are. It doesn't matter what our religious background is. It doesn't matter what type of satsang we go to. It doesn't matter how we've lived our life. Starting now, you can live in God. Very beautiful. Very good. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Love you, love you. Very good, very good. Okay, let's go to Bodhi. Namaste.
Namaste, Father. Thank you. It feels like everything is happening at once.
Yes.
It's like coming in waves. What is helping is it's noticed like more and more often I catch that, like, is it for me or is it for God?
Yes.
It's really so simple, so like easy. Sorry for saying easy. when it's awareness, it's easy and
Yes.
simple. Also, now I forgot what I wanted to say. I've got one question actually. I noticed that all this crying and all these strong emotions, it's also not that.
Yeah.
It's also not me.
Yes.
Because what I am is just empty. It's just empty, innocent, and pure. It's it's love. Love doesn't need to hide no more. It's light. And you know, it feels like this light, this love, when you sometimes, I don't know how you do it, but you just hold my heart so strong, you know, and it feels like, oh my God, what a guy is doing. I'm gonna die of this love, you know, and it just feels like that's exactly what needs to be done, but I can't do it. Mine definitely can't do it because it plays all these costumes, and I'm just it's just becoming boring because everything so maybe not everything, but it's okay, I'm going there. No,
Very good.
yeah,
That's how you're supposed to just notice that you got into some track from the mind, you notice it, you drop it. I'm going there, back to God. Very good. Very good.
the father, it just feels like I don't need any, Lord forgive me if it's wrong, but it feels like I don't need any more teachings or like the navigation is coming from here. Like it's so easy to just be there. But okay, but
the determination of
it's
the determination of whether I need or I don't need is from where, and
yeah,
you must be careful of this one because this one has tripped up just at the last step. So many, because many have come to this point and say, yes, now I'm sorted, I can just listen to my heart, I don't need, you see. So then either what we are saying is that the master's voice is not our heart's voice, you see? Either we are saying that the master's voice is not our heart's voice, which we also realize is not possible, because this voice has brought us to the heart. You see? So we don't have to make a determination about whether I need or I don't need, because that determination can be very individualistic again. So
thank you.
whether you need or don't need is also master's problem.
Help me, Father, please, to drop all of that. To like, it's even not possible, is it, to ask for the I don't know how to say that, because it's just
whatever you could possibly want is available in God's grace.
Yeah.
Such is the immensity of God. So don't feel like there's anything that you can't bring to His light, to His grace.
Thank you, Father. That's what kept me going. Like what keeps this flame so bright. Because God knows my heart, what is really here, and like I don't need to prove, like some, you know, but
anything about,
but please help me to just keep my face only on God's face.
Very good, very good. Yes, all my blessings are for this. All my blessings are for this.
I can't hear, Father.
I'm saying that all my blessings are for this alone, so that you put all your trust and your faith in God's light and not on the false me. Very good, very good, very good, my child. Good, good, good.
Father, I don't know if you can hear me, but I can't hear you.
I see. Okay. The recording will have. The rest of you were able to hear or no? It's the recording. Somebody can type for her in the
Thank
chat.
you.
Let's go to Samia. Huh? She's trying to tell me something.
Yes.
Later? After a few minutes? Okay, okay, don't worry. I don't feel like we should go beyond this point today. Just have to marinate in this presence. I see. Yes, the unmute invitation. Okay.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, thank you. Um, it's so palpable, actually, the presence. And yeah, you know, I remember Guruji was saying that he prayed one time and that he puts like with this word, like this peace never left him. And I somehow realized that, oh my God, I never experienced this, you know, and now like Radha actually helped me a couple days ago, like he guided me to presence, and really it's like whatever happens, you know, like still feelings, energetic place, everything happens, but somehow this presence like never fade away. And I'm so grateful for this experience, and it's beautiful, you know. Someone also said like, yeah, it's untouched, like still we feel whatever is happening by the mind. It doesn't mean that they are disappearing.
Yeah.
It, yeah, but this is really ever light and untouched. And just thank God, you know, like thank God for this experience, thank God for this presence. What to say? Just thank God for really allowing us to experience this immense vastness, emptiness, silence, and beauty among all the clay. Just thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Very good. Thank you, God. Thank you, Guruji, for this light. Thank you.
thank you, Father. Thank you for really relentlessly guiding us and bringing us here.
Very good. Right.
Thank you.
Bless you. Bless you. Thank you.
Father, I would love to sing a song for you, if it is okay. Yeah, I hear that Munir and Sylvia was somewhere, and it was a background Sufi song. So I would love to sing that one. Yeah, and I also want to say that for more than a week, I'm in a Sufi gathering. It always happens in my country, and I just want to say that because I mentioned.
Did we not meet last week? No, was that the week before? Because last week,
but I always love it, no matter what.
at Mother Mary's place, no?
Oh,
That
it was a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. So I mentioned about something like some issue with friends, etc. And I just want to say that your blessings just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. I just want to offer this beauty at God's Lord and just thank you for this so much.
Thank you.
And please bless the gathering also. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. 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 Seni ben severim, candan içerim. Seni ben severim, candan içerim. Yolun vardır bu erkandan içerim. Yolun vardır bu erkandan içerim. Şeriat, tarikat, yoldur varana. Şeriat, tarikat, yoldur varana. Hakikat, marifet, andan içerim. Hakikat, marifet, andan içerim. Beni sorman bana, ben değilim. Beni sorman bana, ben değilim. Bir ben vardır bende, benden içerim. Bir ben vardır bende, benden içerim. Süleyman kuş dili, bilir dediler. Süleyman kuş dili, bilir dediler. Süleyman var Süleyman'dan içeru. Süleyman var Süleyman'dan içeru. Kesildi takatim, bizde derman yok. Kesildi takatim, bizde derman yok. Bu ne mezhebimiz, dinden içeru. Bu ne mezhebimiz, dinden içeru. Yunus'un sözleri hundur ateştir. Yunus'un sözleri hundur ateştir. Kapında kul var sultandan içeru. Kapında kul var sultandan içeru.
Thank you all for being in Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. Guru Kripa Kevala.